welcome in a guest into the show today, 76 Test Wallaby Bernard Foley, also well known for the Kubota bromance with Bryn Hall. We've had some photos of you on the show along the way, mate. We really appreciate you looking after Brenner over in Japan because sometimes he gets a little lonely.
It's been a struggle, but no, really honoured to be on the show. I've only waited all season to get the invite, but I've been waiting in the wings and, excited to be here today.
Tell you what, you're looking good though, boy. Jeez, you're looking good. How long has that moustache been growing for?
A bit of an off-season little growth. A bit of training here and there, but it's been good to be back home and refresh and recuperate.
It's good to see you still behind the Wallabies there. Nice little fleece. Is that retro or is that an attempt to be retro from Budgie Smuggler?
It's a new, just thought I'd have to represent the colours, right? You walk around towns or there's just so much red. It's an absolute sea of red. So, got to get out the green and gold, especially this week. You know, it's do or die for the Wallabies, so we're all behind them.
You enjoyed that first test. I suppose it was difficult as an Australian, but what did you make of how that went down?
You know, we probably missed the jump, probably the start of both halves. Was when the Lions probably got their advantage and they just started with that ferocity and intensity. But really, I suppose, enjoyed the game. I thought there was a lot of enterprising play, the ball movement and the attacking mindsets from both teams. So, disappointing about the result, but I think there's a lot to work on and I think the Wallabies showed a lot of grit and a lot of fight to fight back into that match, you know, from being 24-5 down to be within sort of a try at the end there. And it just sets it up so well for this week, right? It becomes a grand final for them, and I'm sure they were all really excited by the prospect and the opportunity they get this week.
The physicality side of it, they probably need, your Will Skelton, your Rob Valentines. I know, whether you think the selections need to be changed, but I think that physicality was probably one area that probably the Wallabies just missed a little bit, probably in that first 15 minutes against the Lions.
The Lions were able to get a bit of momentum in their forward shapes, and the Wallabies probably lacked that a little bit. The ferocity in their defence, how they're able to get two men in every tackle and, stop us on the game line or behind. So, a few bigger bodies may help that, and hopefully we get the likes of Bobby Valentini back, maybe even Will Skelton, the injection in Man Mountain. So, exciting week ahead, as I said before. And, the challenge is, and these series, you guys would know, is you got to back it up, week after week. And that intensity, that physicality is hard to do back-to-back weeks. So that's the challenge ahead for them, and I'm sure they're aware of that.
What did you make of Tom Liner's start? Did you like what you saw?
For a guy who has been not in the test match arena for that much, and gets to come in and stamp his game, and I thought he was composed and solid for what they sort of needed. I probably would have liked to see the back line get injected and get their ball a bit more. But, I thought he had a solid game for a first start.
What do you need as a 10, I guess, from your teammates to be able to get yourself to flourish, like a young man like that to flourish?
Yeah, you got to be really aligned with the guys around you, and I think Jakey Gordon does that well. He sort of runs the forward pack and he can control the game from 9, and which is what you sort of want as a 10. And then the voice from the outside guys. You have your Lenny Tataus, you have Joseph Suali, is there providing him voice and giving him options about where the space is, whether it's in the attacking line or whether it's in the backfield and kick space. It becomes a lot easier for the 10 just to be able to execute the skills that they're sort of telling him and the feedback loop. So that's the hard thing. Then that takes, repetition. It takes a lot of games to get that continuity, to get that familiarisation in terms of language and what they're saying. But that's where I thought, there was pretty good composure for a first outing.
So when you take that into account, having just one test against Fiji, was it probably not quite enough? Did the Wallabies really need to play a couple more to be ready for that test match? That
was always going to be the challenge, and it is the challenge for every test nation, I suppose, when you come into these July test matches and you've got a limited prep. You're trying to bring 4 teams into one style, and that was always going to be the Wallabies' challenge. I think they probably had to find another game there or be able to have a practice match or an internal game just to put their structures under a bit more pressure, because they knew they were running out into an absolute cauldron and into the fire last week against the Lions.
I just have a theory. If you've watched the Waratahs, and I'm sure you would have, Suaalii at 15, time and space, he's a game breaker. He's someone that can inject life into an attack. Out of his 10 carries on the weekend, 9 were just one-out runoffs. in terms of that crash and bash. I just feel like he's wasted at centre.
You know, we're still working out what his best position is. And if you look back to his debut when he played against England, you know, how many great touches he's had and how he's able to sort of unleash the guys around him with his offloading game, with his big ball carry. So, I would like to see a little bit more variation in his game, but I don't mind that makeup, but I think it's just going to take a little bit of time. You know, I think at Len too, playing at 12 there, Harry can probably be more of a threat with his distribution as well. And, you had two guys running really hard direct lines, getting go forward, but the ability to mix that up and vary that up with that dynamic and the ability to pass and shift the ball into those wider channels to unleash the likes of Jorgensen and Tommy Wright out the back as well. So that's their challenge. And, I think if you look at the Lions, how well their centre pairing were able to do both. They were able to run hard, run direct, but then their passing game was able to unleash, the Finn Russells on that second wave and get the ball into those wider channels to really stress the defence.
We've talked about a lot around Finn Russell, and we've really enjoyed watching him play. The fact that he's played for Scotland and probably hasn't had that, not the confidence, but been in those kind of Ireland or the French that have been a really successful team. It's been really nice seeing him play. What's the traits that you've really enjoyed with Finn Russell that you see as a 10 that have been really valuable for this British and Irish Lions team?
Oh, I just like how he steps up and he stays in the game. I think he's not lost about trying to get players into positions or just playing shapes. He's just looking for momentum, looking for opportunity, and as soon as he gets that, half a metre, his connections with Jamison Park, he gets that ball wide and he's taking on the line and he's challenging. He's always challenging the defence, and that's what I like. And he's got such a silky kick, run and pass game to really challenge you. So he's not sitting back and deep in pockets. He's really playing flat, getting the ball running sideways and challenging the connection in defences. So that's something that, you admire in a player and a guy really willing to take the game on and have touches, stay involved and wants the ball in his hand.
Where do you see a weakness in this Lions team? Because we're really struggling to find it. And where you think an area that the Wallabies can really, pose a lot of questions and put them under pressure for at least 60 minutes of the game or a full game?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think if you look at the style of the Premiership and even at the URC, there's a lot of great attacking footage. So these guys are coming through with a great skill set. They play that enterprising style of play. So, I don't think we can be amazed that it's a one-off. These guys have got a great and high skill set now and really want to attack. I think the one area that they can challenge them is probably in the high ball and the contestable kicking. I think with Hugo Keenan at the back there, probably also James Lowe, not the biggest guys and not going to out-jump you. So, really using that contestable kicking game to be able to go up and compete. And we saw how, Max Jorgensen scored that try on last weekend, how they can use that as an attacking weapon. And, even if you have to manufacture it, so you've got a Joseph Suaalii going up and competing and jumping over those guys, a la, Israel Folau back in the day.
On that though, where Australia could potentially challenge them, defensively they seem to be caught in two systems. So if you use Sheehan's try on the weekend, Len Ikitau jams, like he flies up, he's looking to sort of have a crack because they're right on their line, but Potter doesn't follow him. And then they almost are just passive defensively and it's just all too easy. You saw the same with Rayasi's try against Fiji. Do you think they only gave away 7 penalties. Can they probably just push the envelope a little bit more around that breakdown and with their line speed all going together to try and pressure Finn Russell and Tuipulotu so they can't just have it all their way with ball in hand? Yeah,
I agree. Right, I think the game in this tour that the defence really well travelled them was probably the Waratahs when they brought the most sort of line speed and put the line skill set under pressure and put their connections and their shapes under pressure. So I think one thing you can still do at that level is still go and pressure skill sets. I also think this week, MCG, it's going to be pretty cold. It might be wet, right? It's going to be a lot of dew on the ground. So you've really got to go and pressure that skill set and see if they... There we go. We had a ball off. Yeah, the ultimate professional. I just catch it.
5.
Mate, last week we needed to give Jipper some counselling because Pollock didn't make the starting team or the bench for the Lions. Are you on the Pollock should be in that Lions team, and maybe that could have made a difference against the Wallabies bench in the last 15 minutes, Brigade?
I just think the competition through that Lions squad, especially that back row, is immense, right? Like, yes, Pollock brought a real flair into that, an injection sort of into that back row. But, you know, even a guy like Jack Morgan, like how he missed out in that 23, I thought he's been exceptional this series. So I won't counsel Barso, but, you know, it's great for the squad, and, you know, that competition is, you know, it's hard to compete with, right?
Can they do it, mate? Is there anything the Wallabies can do then? What can they do, mate?
Of course, they would have, mate. Of course. As I said, they're 1 week away, you know, to keep this series alive. I think it's they've experienced the cauldron, they've experienced the intensity as that this Lions series, and there's such a long build-up and preparation, right, that you're not sure what to expect. And then they've had it once. They're down at the MCG, you know, an absolute cauldron of a rugby stadium. It's great to see rugby back there, and I think they just got to make it a scrap, just get involved in the battle, and go and really take on the Lions, and, you know, anything can happen. But yeah, we're backing them. Yeah, keep the series alive. We get the Sydney 1-1. You know, it's going to be a hell of a game.
Are the Wallabies a team to take newspaper clippings from those British scribes that are going hard, chuck them up in the changing room and really throw that in front of, you know, Rob Valentini and say, mate, get in there and destroy them?
You know, on the socials, you're seeing so many people from overseas throwing barbs at the state of the game or the Wallabies tactics or where they're at. You know, like the Wallabies should be using that as motivation. I don't think they need any more, but that's just the little 1% to really light the fire inside each other, because, you know, I was really impressed just how they competed and they stayed in that game. And, you know, really, as you said, in that last 15, 20 minutes to score 2 tries and to come back and fight back, I think that gives them a lot of hope going into this week.
All right, mate. Well, thank you very much for your time.
It's been buddy. You know, guys, I'm looking forward to get a few Eden Park bowlers.
Tell you what, we'll send a couple up with Bryn.
Yeah.
We're the same size. Did them a bit tighter around the arms, I think.
Chuck them through the hot wash.
That's it, boy. That's
You might need a couple of those fluffy ones for the Japanese winter too, won't you?
Oh yeah, this will look good on the streets of Tokyo when we're rocking around. We'll see nice and warm and representing the Wallabies. So,
and Roppongi, Roppongi. That's it, yeah.
Yeah, it's dangerous, when you're looking after brickies.
He needs plenty of that.
You did very well, though. I think you did well around that now, so I appreciate that.
No. We're it goes both ways. Don't worry. We find ourselves in some of the back streets. We look after each other. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, see you,
Cheers,
mate.
mate. Thanks, brother.
Go the Wallabies.
Cheers, boy.